Let's talk about how much do I actually work as a bookkeeping business owner. There's a ton of flexibility that comes with owning your own business. Let's talk about all the details. I'm actually going to break it down specifically how many hours I spend every single week. If you watched yesterday's video, you already know my income has increased significantly over the past 3 years. I'm going to talk about that a little bit too. So a bookkeeping business is really straightforward and I try to keep it simple. So for me, I don't do taxes, I don't do payroll, I only do bookkeeping. So I categorize transactions, I reconcile accounts, and I generate financial statements. For me, I had no previous experience whenever I got started, which is so amazing. You can start your own bookkeeping business with no experience, just like I did 3 years ago. No college degree, no work experience, no certifications. You can do it with no experience and you can start today. Another huge perk is that you're going to be working remotely, which means you don't have to spend time driving to an office or going to clients' offices. You don't have to pretend like you're working whenever you've gotten all of your work done. You can work efficiently, get things done quickly, and still be compensated appropriately for the time you're putting in to serve your clients. So a really cool thing, let me just start off by saying that bookkeeping is a necessary service. So marketing and selling your services is going to be a lot easier than trying to market or sell services that aren't necessarily necessary or required for business owners. This means there's a high demand for good, legit bookkeepers. If you could actually do your job, you're going to have clients coming to you because everybody needs these services. There are a lot of bookkeepers out there who don't necessarily know how to really do the bookkeeping. They pretend they are really just office administrators or office managers who don't really have a lot of bookkeeping experience. They might be really organized, they might be great at helping to do other tasks, but they're not truly bookkeeping experts. So if you can become a bookkeeping expert, then your services are going to be in high demand. A really good thing about this business is that you're genuinely helping other business owners, which I don't know about you, but I love actually being able to help my clients reduce their stress, make their lives easier, help their businesses run more efficiently. That is a huge perk of being a bookkeeping business owner. I started from scratch. Whenever I started my bookkeeping business, like I said, I had no experience. I had no work experience, no prior jobs in bookkeeping or accounting. I had no certifications. I had no college degree related to bookkeeping or accounting. I was able to learn everything on my own. You don't need to take a course, but if you want to learn more about starting a bookkeeping business, I do have a course. I put out a ton of free content on YouTube, but if you want everything nice and neat packaged for you so you can learn systematically, check out the description of this video. There's a link. There is a course that you can buy. I also have weekly meetings every single Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Myself and a group of bookkeeping business owners, we meet, we talk about business, we talk about bookkeeping, we talk about marketing strategies and sales tactics. I also have a Facebook group. All of that stuff is linked in the description of this video. The biggest challenge, the biggest hurdle you have to overcome is not learning bookkeeping in QuickBooks. It's actually sales and marketing because right now, nobody knows who you are. Learning bookkeeping, learning QuickBooks, really not that challenging, but actually getting your first client, that's the hardest part. So that was probably for me whenever I got started, that was the biggest challenge, just getting my first client. Once you get your first client, it kind of snowballs, you gain some confidence, you actually start to think, okay, I'm really a bookkeeper now. But until you get your first client, it is really challenging. So don't spend a ton of time learning bookkeeping in QuickBooks. Focus a lot of your energy on sales and marketing, and then you can learn bookkeeping in QuickBooks simultaneously while you're doing sales and marketing. Okay, so let's talk about my work-life balance. I am actually only really working 20 hours per week as a bookkeeping business owner on actual bookkeeping tasks. That comes out to be about 3 to 4 hours per day. Sometimes I'll work on Saturday. Really, truly 20 hours per week. That's not including sales and marketing and growing my business. So like this, I'm making this video right now. I make content on Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram and YouTube. I create posts. I take sales calls. So not including that, it truly comes out to be about 20 hours per week. A large majority of my success and my work-life balance has come from being able to work remotely. That is a huge benefit of being a bookkeeping business owner because you can get a ton of work done remotely without wasting time going to clients' houses or offices. If I had to go to each of my clients' office every single day when I was doing their bookkeeping, there's no way I'd be able to get all the work done every single day that I get done because I also wake up early. Sometimes I'll stay up late. I'll work early in the morning or I'll work after hours. And there's no way you'd be able to do that if you had to go to their offices. So I am able to jam pack a ton of work into my schedule in those 3 or 4 hours that I would not necessarily be able to do if, for example, let's say I was an electrician and I had to go to somebody's house 10 minutes away or 30 minutes away. That time I'm spent traveling, you're not doing the work. You're not necessarily getting paid your hourly rate. So that's a huge perk of this business. And that's why I'm able to only work 3 or 4 hours a day on actual bookkeeping tasks. A huge perk of being a business owner is you are able to achieve a decent amount of success without necessarily putting in 60 hours of work. A couple weeks ago, I was talking to a friend from college, and he is pretty high up in a large company. He's very successful. He's very proud of his work. And he was almost bragging about working 60 or 80 hours a week. And he was making a lot of money, which is great. I'm happy for him and he's happy. But the cool thing about being a bookkeeping business owner is that you can actually make a ton of money and not have to work 60 or 80 hours per week. Okay, so for my work-life balance, it's pretty straightforward. I spend about 3 to 4 hours a day on bookkeeping, and then I spend an additional probably 1 hour a day responding to emails and communicating with clients, and then I spend an additional 2, maybe 3 hours a day working on sales and marketing. So I am actively trying to grow my business. And with that, I have grown my business pretty substantially, and I'm going to touch on that right now real quick. So I want to give you a progression. So the first year, like I said, I started my bookkeeping business 3 years ago, and I want to give you a progression of my business where I've come over the past 3 years. This will give you, I think, a good idea of maybe your career progression. If you're thinking about getting started, I'll give you some insight into where you might be in 2 or 3 years. So when I got started, the first 12 months, I had about 15 clients maybe, and I made about $70,000 in my first year as a bookkeeping business owner, which in my opinion, I was stoked. I thought this is awesome. If I could just do this every year, I'll be happy. And that's a great job. That's a great salary. That's great money. If you can make $70,000 a year, congratulations. I think that is really, really good, especially being a business owner. You're truly not working 40, 50, 60 hours a week. So to make $70,000 a year and not really have to work that full 40 hours is awesome. So I made a lot of my work from monthly recurring clients, but I also made a lot of my money from large cleanups. And those are going to be two main parts of your business. You're going to get monthly recurring clients, which is great because there's consistency, but you're also going to get big cleanups. Like maybe somebody comes to you and say, hey, I need all of last year done. And that's also great because that's a large lump sum of money. So probably, I don't know the percentages, probably 70% of my revenue comes from monthly recurring clients, and then 30, maybe 40% of my revenue comes from large bulk cleanups. So keep in mind, for me and my business, related to my growth and my work-life balance, I do work a lot. So if you just want to make $70,000 a year, that's awesome. You could probably work 4 hours a day and make $70,000 a year. If I stopped trying to sell and market and stopped trying to grow my business, I would probably only work 3 or 4 hours a day and I would make a decent amount of money. But for me, and this is just me personally, I don't know, you might be similar. I want to grow my business really big, really fast, a lot. Like that's just my personality. So with that being said, year 2, I grew from $70,000 to $110,000 in my second year. And this was just from organic sales and marketing on Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn and Instagram. I never paid for advertising. I just created content and I just did a lot of DMs and phone calls and emails. And then I got to about 20 or 25 monthly recurring clients plus the additional cleanups. And so keep in mind, I'm still probably working 3 or 4 hours a day on actual bookkeeping, an hour a day on communicating with clients, and then 2 or 3 hours a day on sales and marketing. Okay, now let's talk about year 3. A lot of growth in year 3. I don't know what happened. Maybe just because I have over 100 Google reviews, or maybe because word of mouth referrals. Maybe I'm doing a good job with my current clients, so they're telling their friends about me. Maybe my sales and marketing is finally catching up to itself. I have no idea what happened. But in 2023, this year, I'm on pace to make $300,000 a year. And that's pretty crazy. I have 44 clients right now. I've probably done 5 to 10 big cleanup jobs this year so far. My business exploded 2023 tax season. So I don't know what's going to happen 2024 tax season. I don't know if I'm going to get as many clients as I did last year, but I probably had 25 clients going into January 2023, and now I have 44 clients. So I've gotten almost 20 clients in the past 10 months. So if that happens again, I'm going to need to make changes because I don't think I'll be able to keep up with that. However, you do almost have, I don't want to say you have an unlimited earning potential, but from a work-life balance perspective, you really could work 10 or 12 hours a day if you really wanted to. So if you truly wanted to make $500,000 a year, I genuinely think that you can. Right now, I'm making $300,000 this year, and I'm working probably 8 hours a day. And I'm talking actual work. I'm not talking you go to your 9 to 5 and you sit in the conference room for an hour, or you take an hour and a half lunch break, or you're taking smoke breaks, or you're talking to your coworkers for an hour. I'm not talking like 9 to 5 working 8 hours a day. I'm talking actual legit focused at my computer, no distractions. Cell phone is on do not disturb. No one's coming to my office, not taking phone calls. I am actually working for 8 hours every single day. And there's a big difference in that. So whenever I do talk about my work-life balance, keep that in mind. You need to optimize the hours that you're working on a daily basis. So I don't want you to be working for an hour and then get distracted for an hour, and then work for an hour and get distracted for 30 minutes. And then you might think, oh, I just worked for 4 hours. You didn't actually work for 4 hours. So keep that in mind when I say my work-life balance. I only work 4 hours a day on bookkeeping. I'm talking about legit, focused, really working for 4 straight hours. So in my opinion, to wrap up this whole video, I really do think there's not unlimited earning potential, but if you truly wanted to work 60 or 80 hours a week, you could make $500,000 or $600,000 a year, probably in years like 4, 5, and 6. I'd imagine if you go hard on sales and marketing, if you do a really good job of customer service and you keep your current clients, and then you gain 3 or 4 clients every single month, and you get a couple big cleanups, and you quote your projects appropriately, I think there's almost unlimited earning potential when it comes to being a bookkeeping business owner up until a certain point. Obviously, you can't work more than 80 hours a week without getting burnt out. So if you want to learn more about starting the bookkeeping business, I don't really know why I made this video. This video was just kind of me rambling on. I wanted to make a quick video and talk about work-life balance and how many hours I actually work. I don't really know if this is a good video or not. But if you want to learn more, check out the link in the description of this video. I got a course, I got weekly meetings, I got a Facebook group. I'm trying to share my knowledge because I am so passionate about teaching other people what I know.